Okay, I guess, Jane. Oh, maybe that's Jane. Or maybe that's Rebecca. Oh, that's Jane. I can tell by the footsteps. Yeah, but it's not carrot. It's mixed carrot.
Yeah, mixed.
So carrot and lime and pineapple and what is pineapple and is that apple?
Grape.
Oh, it's a grape.
Grape. Passion fruit. Pineapple. Lemon.
Sounds like a lot of junk in there. So carrots, pineapple, grape, lemon, apple, passion fruit. So 5, 6 different things. But why do they put carrot? Is carrot the most one? Is there more carrot than anything else? Is that why they put carrot and orange it says mixed carrot, right?
Yeah.
But why carrot? Is there more carrot than anything else? Why not mix pineapple or mixed lemon or mixed grape?
Make the liver be great.
Probably because they think that you think that carrots are the best for you of those 6.
No, I have.
This company is specifically making carrot juice.
Oh, okay. So it's a carrot company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that makes sense. Okay. Okay, I guess Rebecca's not coming today. So I guess we can get started. Okay, so today we're going to talk about patents. Does anybody know what a patent is before we get started? Has anybody ever heard of the term patent? Yes? No? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? Okay. So the boys have said yes. The girls have said no. Patent? Do you know what a patent is? Jane?
No.
Okay. Okay. What is a patent, Neil? I think that it is a so he says the technique that only one person or one thing of the company gets to use. Okay? Kind of right. Okay, so a patent is when someone invents something that hasn't been invented yet so that they get credit for it. Okay? Pretty much everything that you see right now, whether it's your pen or a microphone or your phone or your juice box or anything that you see, someone invented it. And the person that invents it usually tries to put a patent on it, meaning it is their invention. Okay? Someone, hundreds of years ago, invented a straw. Someone patented. Okay? I'll give you an example. And the only reason why I know this is I had to learn this because at one point I worked for this company. I worked for Coca-Cola. I worked for Coca-Cola for a year. And one of the first things we learned is the history of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was originally made in what? They were made in bottles, glass bottles. Okay? Then the invention of aluminum cans came. And a person invented the aluminum can, invented the can where you pop open the can, right? That person sold that can first to Coca-Cola. And do you know how much he got paid for inventing the Coca-Cola can, inventing the can and selling it to the Coca-Cola? You know how much they paid for it? He got 1 penny for every can they made. 1 penny for every can. 1 penny. So in America, 1 penny. So it's 100. So there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So for you, it would be like 1/3 of 1 NT. So for every 3 cans they sold, he got 1 NT. Is that a lot? Coca-Cola, and this is numbers that when I was there, so this was 1994, 1995. So this is 20 years ago, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, Coca-Cola sold over 450 million cans of Coke, or their product, Coke, Sprite, all the things. So he made 1 penny or 1 NT for every 3 that he. Okay. So he had the patent on it. He sold the patent to them. Okay. Now people have changed it up, and now we don't use cans anymore, hardly, right? Now we use bottles, plastic bottles. Someone invented the plastic bottle. At some point, someone decided to invent the cardboard box to be able to make a portable drink like that. Okay? So all of these are all patents. People that own things. What's the biggest patent person in Taiwan? It's the guy who owns TSMC. TSMC, they have a special patent on their semiconductors that makes them so much better than all the other semiconductors in the world. He has a patent on it. Okay, I mean, I don't know semiconductors, so I don't know the difference, but there must be something that he does that other people that make semiconductors don't do, because he is more popular than anybody else. Everybody in the world wants their semiconductors from TSMC. Okay, so he has a patent, or somebody in his company has a patent that he controls. Okay. So when you think of this, number one, what are some of the greatest inventions of all time? And who invented them? What is one of the greatest inventions of all time? Just pick one. Lights. Very important, right? Before, what happened after dark? When the sun went down, what happened? Pretty much the whole world kind of stopped, right? No, nothing. Okay? Right? So who invented the light? Edison invented the light. Okay. Now, some people would say that what's his name created electricity. I'm drawing a blank with the glasses and the kite. I'm drawing a blank, but that guy. Okay, but somebody invented the light. What else would be an important invention? Internet. Who invented the internet? USA, go, go, go. By the way, just as an observer, the reason why, some of you may think to yourself, why do we need to learn English? Why does Taiwan care if you know English? Why not Russian? Why not why not Spanish? Why not French? Why does Taiwan want you to learn English? Why? 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 Because the internet is in English. The internet is American. It's in English. When you go to a website, when you type in a website, do you type it in Chinese? No. It's an English website. You may type it in Chinese, but it automatically goes to a Google site that sends it to an English website. Okay. Is your email address, is it in English or is it in Chinese? It's in English. And it may not be right. I mean, people put, whatever they want for their email address, right? Okay. I think I've told, maybe Sheena knows this story. You guys probably don't. Did I ever tell you the story of how old I am? Gigi, are you two talking all night? What are you talking about? Talking about boys? Are you talking about Leon? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Edison? Talking about electricity? What are you talking about? Huh? Nothing? You are going, and she's going, oh no, I'm sorry. Nothing. And then she's turning back and going, nothing. Okay? All right? I don't care what you guys talk about at school. I don't care about what you talk about at home. From 6:30 to 8 o'clock, here only. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you a story again. How old am I? Super old. How old are you? Let me tell you how old I am. My first email address was mark@hotmail.com. That was my first email address. mark@hotmail.com. Hotmail. Used to be Hotmail. Well, Hotmail used to be an email address, and now it's owned by Microsoft. But at the time, Hotmail was an easy, free email address. My other email address was markc@yahoo.com. Mark C. That's how old I am. Now your email addresses are like J469_24, because there's so many people with so many email addresses and so many things. You can't just put Sheena at Yahoo, right? It's been taken a million times, right? If you want to have Sheena, you got to put Sheena 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, or something like that, right? Both were taken away from me. Yahoo sent me a message about 2 months afterwards saying, hey, your email address is invalid. We have to give you a different email address. And they gave me another one because they took it away because they didn't want someone to have Mark C. They wanted someone else to have it, I guess. Mark@Hotmail was my favorite. I had that for about 6 months. And then somebody at Hotmail took it away from me. Okay. So yeah, I am super old. So that is the reason why most countries want you to learn English, because everybody knows or everybody thinks that the internet is going the way of English, because it was wrote in English, it was written by English, it was written by Americans. They want you to know English to be able to go to the next century. That's the reason why, in my opinion. Okay. Now I say that, and now it doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot, because AI is turning into AI, and you don't necessarily have to be in English now for that. You can just, AI is in pretty much every language, which is the reason why everybody's racing to get the best AI. Okay? Okay, if you had unlimited time and money to invent something, what would it be? Gigi, if you had unlimited time and money to invent something, what would it be? I already know Jane's answer.
What?
What?
I already know Jane's answer.
What?
My answer, Jane's answer, and probably Sheena's answer are probably all the same. But let's see if I'm right later. What would you do? If you had unlimited time and money, what would you invent? And what would it be? Aisha, what would it be? What would you invent, Aisha, if you had unlimited time and money?
The machine that can help me do everything.
That can help you what?
Do everything.
Do everything. Okay, so she wants a machine that helps her do everything. What about you, Leon? What would you do? Time and money and unlimited time, unlimited money. A robot. Okay, fair enough. Okay. A robot that does what? Plays chess? We have that already. We have plenty of robots. Why is your robot different than all the robots we already have? We have a robot that can shoot free throws. That can shoot. I think some company in Japan invented a robot that can shoot free throws, basketball, and it made like 14,000 in a row before it finally missed one, something like that, some crazy number. It shot free throws for like almost 2 months in a row, nonstop, until it finally missed one. And they don't even have a clue of why it missed it. How did it miss one? So, okay, Sheena, what would you invent? What would you invent if you had unlimited time and money? Time machine. Everybody would think that. A time machine. To go backward into time, to go forward into time, right? Invent a time machine so you can do whatever you want. Right? Ain't that what you would?
No.
Oh, you. I figured you.
A robot.
Okay, robot. But a robot that does what?
That's
That's what I'm saying. If you build a time machine, you can go forward to where robots are going to do whatever you want now, right? And then bring one back. Right? No need to invent the robot, invent the time machine, let someone else invent the robot and go back and forth. Okay. How do inventors prevent other people from stealing their ideas? That is what a patent is. Okay? A patent is you registering with the government, whatever government it is, that you own the rights to be able to do a certain thing. Okay? If I had a time machine, let me ask a question. If I invented a time machine, don't you think everybody would want to invent a time machine? Don't you think that other companies would be like, oh, well, we want to invent a time machine? Because would that be the most popular thing on the planet? If I all of a sudden went on the news tomorrow and said, hey, I invented a time machine and they're for sale, the whole world would line up to buy a time machine, right? Everybody would. Okay? They don't even care what the rules would be. What if the rule was, I invented a time machine, you can only go back one day? Would you still get one? Yeah. Everybody on the planet would still get one. Go back one day? What could you do with one day? You could do anything, right? You could save someone's life. You could help somebody. You could bet on basketball. You could do your homework. You could take a test today and go, oh man, I didn't do very good. Go back tomorrow, retake it again, already knowing what's on the test. Right? You could do anything. If I could just one day, not just like 10,000 years. I'm talking about just one day. The whole world be like, oh my God, well, how do I get? Right? So, at some point, someone invented this cell phone, right? Someone had a patent on the cell phone. So one person owned all the cell phones at one point. then companies go, oh my gosh, we have to have a cell phone, right? So they started inventing their own cell phone, but with small little differences. So they could get away from, they could say they invented it even though they didn't invent it. They change it up a little bit. Yeah. So that is what patents do, is they protect the person from having people steal their ideas. People steal their ideas anyway. Okay? So it's not a matter of that. There are companies in this world. There are people in this world. When something first comes out, let's say the first rice cooker came out. Okay? And everybody's like, oh man, a rice cooker. Never seen one of those before. Oh my gosh, it's so smart. Somebody would go and buy it. A company would go and buy one, give it to somebody, and they would what you call reverse engineer it. How it's made, how they do it, how do they do it. And then they would look at the patent and see how can they change it to where they could say, oh, well, this is different. Like, for example, that one there, that one goes up to, say, 200 Celsius. Well, ours goes up to 220 Celsius. So ours is different. You know, or ours, that one there is 15 cubic whatever, right? Ours is 18 cubic. Ours is bigger. I'll give you a perfect example. The funniest thing ever. When I was growing up, you guys have no idea about this. When I was growing up, we had videotapes and VCRs. And people would do, instead of going to the gym and going to work out, they would buy a videotape. You know, and there was a videotape called 8-Minute Abs. So you click in the video and you do the workout, and it's in 8 minutes you get better ab muscles, right? And the guy made a whole bunch of money until some guy created 7-minute abs. Didn't violate the patent because it was 8-minute abs. So, Jane, if you go to the store and you say, you know what, I need to work on my abs. Do I want 8-minute abs or do I want 7-minute abs? Well, what would you choose? Everybody would choose the 7-minute abs, right? Because it's a smaller amount of time. So people would go, oh, so people started buying the 7-minute abs until what?
6.
Until the 6-minute ab came out. Mine's different. What is yours? What is so different? Mine's 6 minutes, not 7. So the person who made 8-minute abs sued the 7-minute ab guy. The person who made the 7-minute abs sued the 6-minute guy. You know why the 6-minute ab guy got sued? Because not only did he make 6, but he decided since on the patent, he did 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. He patented all of the other ones so that nobody else could do that to him. So smart. So again, people, not saying everybody, but when your parents go to the grocery store and they see a gallon of milk for 200 NT and they see a gallon of milk for 190 NT, unless they really, really, really love the 200 one, most people will buy the cheaper one, right? Okay, same thing for them. Everybody stopped buying the 8-minute ab videotape because there was a 7-minute one out and the 7-minute for the 6-minute. Because people, for the most part, are stupid. I'll give you even a better example, and I love this. This is my favorite example of all, okay? Here's my favorite example of all. In America, McDonald's. McDonald's has the quarter pounder, 1/4 pound burger. They had a Big Mac and they had the quarter pounder. You can still get that now. You can go to McDonald's here and get the quarter pounder. Well, it's not quarter pounder, but it's quarter pounder. A company called Hardee's. They came up with The third pound burger. No one bought it. Do you know why no one bought the third pound burger? Why do you think? Because they thought it was smaller. Because they saw the 1/4 and 1/3, they thought, oh, well, this one's smaller. Why would I'd rather get the one?
What?
So dumb. That's how stupid people are. They would see that and go, oh, well, I don't want the 1/3, I want the bigger one. I want the 1/4. True story. True. All of it true. Hardee's goes under. Because they sink so much into the, we have the 1/3 burger, and everybody's like, why do I want the 1/3 one smaller? So Hardee's goes out of business. And then later on, McDonald's comes with the double quarter pounder with cheese. And you know why they call it the double and not the half? Because they didn't want people to think that was smaller. So instead of coming up with, because we know that the double quarter pounder with cheese would just be the half pound, right? But they didn't call it that. They call it the double quarter pounder with cheese. Because if they would have said half pound, people would go, oh my gosh, why are the burgers getting so small? Stupid, right? Stupidest thing I ever heard. Okay. I hate when I do that. Okay, so let's excuse me, let's do the vocabulary. Patents, 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 patents. I love this I have a feeling I'm gonna like this chapter. Do I have this book? I think I do. Do I have this book? Oh, I do. Good. All right. So let's see. Who could have possibly been the last person to show up? Let me guess. Jane, number 1.
Fable.
Okay. Viable.
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 F. Having a reasonable chance of succeeding.
Okay. So she says F, having a reasonable chance of succeeding. That is correct. So what is a viable, having a reasonable chance of succeeding? What does viable mean? What is viable? Whoa, too much carrot. Okay, so what do you think? What's viable? Have, besides a reasonable chance of succeeding? Okay. Do you have a viable chance of passing high school?
Yeah.
You have a reasonable chance of succeeding, right? The more you study, the more you learn, the more viable your chance is. Okay. Do I have a viable chance of passing a Chinese test? I do. Very, very small, like 0.00000000001%. It's a viable chance, but not very well. If I study more and I learn more, then maybe, but probably not. Too old to pass anything like that anymore. Okay. So a viable chance. Jane, do you have a viable chance of getting a driver's license? Jane, do you have a viable chance of getting a driver's license?
No.
Not now, right? But when you're 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. The more you study, the more you drive, the better you drive, the better your chance, right? Yeah. All right, number 2, Sheena.
Specialty.
Specialty.
Specialty. D. Area of expertise.
Okay, she says the answer is D, area of expertise. That is correct. What is a specialty? I mean, obviously an area of expertise, but what, do you have a specialty? Do you have an area of expertise? Probably not at your age, not yet. Okay? But do I have a specialty?
Yeah.
What's my specialty?
Sport.
Sports, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say I'm an expert. At volleyball? Yeah. I would say my expertise is in volleyball. In Taiwan, my expertise would be vocabulary English, would be dialogue English. My expertise would not be grammar English, would not be phonics English. That type of thing. That would be my expertise, my specialty. That's what I'm here for, right? I mean, there's a reason why I teach your age and not the young ones. Because the phonics and the grammar are more important when you're younger, right? Now what your job is to learn the vocabulary and the dialogue on how to say them. I mean, for the most part, you all know English. English isn't a problem. It's saying it correctly or knowing the words that you're saying. Okay? Like right now, tonight, we'll go through here and most of you read like a champ. After years of backbreaking work and research, you have finally invented, you can read it pretty well. But some of you don't know what all the words mean. Know how to say it, just don't know what the words mean. Or the dialogue part, know how to say it in groups of words, with a flow. So that's what I'm here for. That's what Teacher Irene has me here for. Believe me, it's not for my good looks. It's not for my volleyball expertise. It's because I can do something that most people here in Taiwan can't. And that's speak in a native speaking English. There are plenty of English teachers here. Plenty of English teachers that can speak English and they speak very nice and they speak so eloquently like they're on the airplane and they sound fantastic. But then you ask them, I don't know who the word is. Right? So I am what you would call a native speaker. Okay, number 3.
Obtain.
Whew. Sorry, remember last week I was sick? Not sick, but my sinuses were bad. I told you. So the first couple of days, sinus here. The next 2 or 3 days, the sinus here. Everything goes down. The mucus goes down, and now everything is here. So a lot of coughing, a lot of not being able to catch my breath. So again, not sick, not contagious, just coughing because I can't get enough air. It's worse at night when I'm laying down. All night coughing, all night coughing. Cannot get any air. Okay, sorry. Number 3.
Obtain.
Obtain.
To get or acquire.
Okay, to get or acquire. What would you want to obtain, Gigi? What would you like to get or acquire? What can you? You're getting pretty close, right? You're getting old enough where you're going to get or obtain what? Money, sure. But you're going to obtain your high school diploma, right? Pretty soon. A couple years. You're going to obtain driver's license, probably pretty soon. A couple years, right? You'll be able to obtain a voter card, right? When you turn 20, is that right? Vote 20 or 18? When can you vote in Taiwan? 20 or 18?
Depends on what you vote.
How old do you have to be to vote for the president of Taiwan?
One is for people.
Right, vote for people.
And the other is
That's 20 or 18?
this 20.
Okay. Then what's the vote for laws? What is that?
It's just like
Same age or no? Different age for that? 18 for that. Okay. So again, won't be long. A couple years, you'll be able to do that. Okay. All right. Okay. So obtain is just to get or acquire. Okay. All right. Next word.
Adaptation.
That's perfect. Adaptation.
B. A change to an existing design or concept.
Okay. So adaptation is a change to an existing design or concept. When you hear the word adaptation, Jane probably hears it as, when do you normally hear the word adaptation? When do you normally hear the words adaptation for you guys at your age? For everybody at your age. Usually it's a book that's turned into a TV show or a movie. It's not quite the same. For example, Harry Potter, very popular book. The movie does not go completely off the book. The movies are always going to be adaptations of the book. Okay? Because sometimes if you read the book and then you watch the movie, you go, wait a minute, that person's not supposed to be that person. That person's supposed to be this or that. So they change it. They make a little small adaptations. You of all people should know that from Spider-Man. Spider-Man books, the comic books, and the movies are based off of adaptations. Okay, they're not completely on the book. Okay, so they change little bitty things here and there just to make it different. Just to make it, either they make it different for a reason. They make it different because most of the time it's because of a society. Nowadays everything is so equal based that pretty much every show has to have one black person in it, one Asian person in it, you're like, there's the token Asian person in the movie, or there's the token black person in the movie, or there's the token this. Because you have to make sure everything is covered. Okay? So adaptation is just something that they changed for some reason or another. Okay? Next word. Ooh, here's a good one. It's a good one.
Strong.
Okay? Theorem.
Serum.
Theorem.
Serum.
Theorem is what? What do you think theorem is?
Formula, proposition, or general statement in the science.
Okay? So a formula, proposition, or general statement in the sciences. Where do you think the word theorem comes from? Theory. Okay? So what is a theory? A theory is an idea that's not proven yet. It's just a theory. Like a while ago, I had a theory that Jane and Sheena were going to say time machine. Wasn't proven yet. I just had a really good idea that they were going to say that. Now, was my theory proven right? Yes, because Sheena said it, but no, because Jane didn't say it. Okay? So my theory was kind of right or kind of wrong, depending on which way you look at it. Right? Okay? So a theory is just basically, a theory is an educated guess. So this theorem is the same thing. It's the formula. It's how I got to that. Okay? All right? The reason why I said that about Jane and about Sheena was because they had told me that they had come to the Saturday class, or the Saturday thing that teacher Irene had. And they gave me a piece of paper about, if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for? And I remember Jane saying something about a time machine. Or something like that. Was it maybe not in this class? See, I may be so smart that I'm dumb. That it may not have been you guys. Somebody came up to me and said, hey, we have this sheet from Saturday and we want to know what you would do. And these questions were like, if you had 3 wishes, or if you had a wish, what would you wish for? If you had 1 wish, what would you wish for? If you had 1 wish, what would you wish for, Jane?
Me?
Yeah, same thing as a while ago, right? For the most part. If I had 1 wish, you know what I'd wish for? 1 million wishes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'm teaching you now. If somebody ever comes to you and says, if you had 1 wish, what would you wish for? Your first thing should be 1 million wishes. Right? And then you no. What's something else? The second thing I would wish for? I wish I had a notebook and anything I wrote in the notebook came true. It's basically the same thing, right? I can then write in the wish book, I wish I had 1 million wishes. Oh, comes true. So there's ways to get around things. Okay. All right. All right, last word. Who's on it? Okay, last word.
Machinery.
Machinery. Easy one.
Man-made moving device.
Man-made moving devices. Okay. Machinery. Moving devices. Is a TV considered a moving device? Is a TV a moving device? Is your telephone a moving device? There are people that could say yes. I mean, the screen is moving. TV, usually you watch television. The channels are moving. There's moving parts to it in the back. Sure. But when we hear man-made moving devices, what do you think of? You think of cars, tractors, trucks, big trucks, construction stuff, that kind of thing. All right, so let's go over to the words. Let's go over to the definitions first. Okay. Oh, first one. Backbreaking. Backbreaking means extremely exhausting. Okay? So usually backbreaking means like it's very, very difficult to do. Okay? Writing a paper is not backbreaking. Okay? And again, something physical that you do. So working construction, working, as a mechanic, something that, you use your hands, something that you have to lift a lot of heavy things with. Okay? Not considered backbreaking. Okay? Number 2, thereof. Thereof is of the thing that has been mentioned. We'll kind of go off of that here in a little bit. Okay? And number 3, gear. A gear is a mechanism that performs a specific function in a complete machine. Okay, some of you have gears right now. Your pen has a gear in it. If you have a pen that does this, or a pencil that goes, every time you make this click, when you push that thing in, you're pushing some gear to push the pencil or the pen up, right? If you write too long with your pencil, at some point your pencil runs out of lead, right? So you have to click to make it longer. Well, what makes it longer? Well, you're pushing that thing. That gear pushes the pencil lead farther forward, right? So all of these things, like something simple like a pen, has gears. Okay. I mean, very simple one, like Teacher Irene's cell phone tripod has a bunch of gears, right? A bunch of things where she can make it go up or down, or she can turn it sideways. She can do. There's a bunch of different things that make it do things, all part of a complete machine. Okay. Does everybody understand? Okay. Number 4, relativity. Okay. So many of you have heard the term theory of relativity. Okay. So the theory of relativity, the theory that says that the way in which anything but light moves forward in time and space depends on the position and movement of the observer. I know, that's really deep. I'm not going to get into that because it's not science class, but maybe it'll get into it here in a little bit. But I have a feeling that we're going to get into, when you hear relativity, I'm almost positive that we're going to hear about Einstein here in a little bit in the story, okay? Because Einstein not only came up with the theory of relativity, but he actually worked in a patent office, okay? Next word, procedure. Number 5, procedure. Procedure is a series of actions that are done in a certain way or order, okay? When you are making a cake, there is a proper procedure to make a cake. You can't just throw eggs, milk, butter, salt, sugar, and throw it all in a bowl and go, okay, there, and boom. There's certain ways to do it, right? Yes or no? Okay? There's a certain procedure. If you do it wrong, then it will come out wrong. I learned that the hard way. My grandma used to make things for me all the time. So one day I decided to make something for her. And she's so smart because she used to cook so much. So she used to make me cookies. Every time I went to visit, she knew I was coming to visit her. She would have cookies waiting for me when I got there. That's why I love my grandma. Cookies. Right? So one day I decided I was going to make her cookies. And I was going to bring cookies to go see when I saw her. So I made the cookies, and I gave the cookies to my grandma, and she said, she tasted it, she goes, how did you make these cookies? And I told her how, and then she stopped me, she goes, so what did you put in after that? So what I did was I made the eggs and the milk first, and then I put the flour in, and she knew that. Just from eating the cookies. She tasted and she goes, you put the flour in last, right? And she goes, yeah. I said, yeah. She goes, why did you do that? And I went, because I forgot. Because I was doing the rest of the recipe and I completely forgot to put the flour. I was putting everything in, I was like going, this doesn't look right. I'm like 5. Okay, I'm like 5 or 6 years old. So then I make it and she goes, that was good, it was good, but you have to follow the order. If you don't follow the order on the recipe, it's going to come out wrong. So he goes, did you taste one? She goes, no, I'll save them for you. She goes, here, have one. I took a bite, I was like, and I remember going, well, they're kind of good, but they're not like yours. And I remember taking them and I goes, yeah, they're different. She goes, yeah, you can just taste different. There's something different about them, and that's what it was. So she knew how I made them without even me telling her that. So anyway, so there is a procedure to certain things, okay? I mean, we know this, right? I know I've done this to y'all many times before. 3 times 2 plus 4 plus, there's a certain procedure, right? You have to do multiplication first before you do addition, or you'll get the answer wrong, right? Okay. And number 6, database. Okay, a database is a large collection of data organized for rapid search and retrieval on a computer. We don't really call it a database anymore now, right? We call it kind of a hard drive, right? Or flash drive, right? We can put everything on a flash drive, pretty easy, pretty quick, gain research and retrieval on the computer. We can just, right? Very simple, very quick. So we don't really use database anymore, other than, if we put it all in one big, huge thing and then make separate things, okay? All right, next word, stimulate. To stimulate is to increase or excite, okay? Like if I were to say, Aisha, no homework tonight. Hey, smile, right? Excite, yay, right? But if I say, Gigi, your homework tonight is these 10 pages, and then everybody goes, ah, right? So to stimulate is to increase or to excite. So say things that are nice, things that are positive. Okay. Ready? Last word, file. A file is to initiate through a formal procedure, a legal action. So when you want to file for something, okay, you have to go through a formal procedure in order to file things. You can't just go, okay. There has to be a certain procedure that you have to follow for it to be correct. And we're going to learn that here in a second, I think. Pretty sure. Okay? All right. How am I doing on time? Not so good. Let's do 3 sentences at a time then tonight. Since we're one person short. 3 sentences. Okay, who's got it? Jane, you're first? Okay.
After years of backbreaking work and research, you have finally invented something that will solve many people's problems and make the world a better place. Now what do? Your next step, if you're smart, is to obtain a patent.
Okay. All right. So after years of backbreaking work and research, you finally invented something that will solve many people's problems and make the world a better place. Now what do? Your next step, if you're smart, is to obtain a patent. Okay? So during this story, during this passage, while we're reading this, let's just create our own patent. Okay? Let's say that Leon has invented a pill that when you take it, when you wake up the next morning, you are fat-free. A pill that takes all your fat out of your body. That'd be pretty good, right? Would everybody in the world want that? Probably so, right? Even non-fat people would be like, oh, I want one of those, right? Okay. Okay. So now Leon has invented a pill called Leon's pill. Okay, so Leon's pill has shocked the world by telling you that if you just take this one pill every night before you go to bed, all of your fat goes away. Pretty sweet, right? Okay, all right, so let's continue. Did anybody have any words in that first paragraph? That was a pretty easy one. Okay, Sheena?
Patents are agreements between inventors and the government that give inventors ownership of their creations for a certain amount of time. Patents also allow a person to own the idea for not yet completed invention. U.S. patent law states that an invention is any new and useful process, machinery, manufacture, or composition of matter, or any new and useful improvement
thereof.
Basically, anything that someone creates can be protected from theft by patenting.
Theft by patenting, okay? So patents are agreements between investors and the government that allows inventors ownership of their creations for a certain amount of time. Patents also allow a person to own the idea for not yet completed invention, okay? U.S. patent laws states that an invention is any new or useful process, machinery, manufacture, or composition of matter, or any new and useful involvement thereof. So, improvement thereof. So, would a pill named Leon's pill, let's change it. Let's say Leon's pill is called Fataway. Okay? So he's come up with the pill called Fataway. So as he's developing it, hopefully Leon has filed for a patent. Because in this situation, would you say that it's a useful process? Would fat away be something useful? Okay. And is it a machinery? No. Is it a manufacturer? No. It's a composition of matter. So what's in the pill? Okay. Let's say what's in the pill is carrots, lemons, grapes, pineapple, and passion fruit. Okay? So in the patent, he would have to say, and they have to be in a certain percentage. Okay? So 20% carrot, 5% grapes, 6% pineapple, 10%, whatever the case is to make it, and then whatever else is added in. Okay? So that would be a composition of matter. A composition meaning a mixture of matter. Okay? Basically, anything that someone creates can be protected from theft by patenting. Okay? So now we have a name for it. Okay? Now we have a patent for it. So Leon has a patent for fat away. Okay? All right, so now where we're at. Next paragraph. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any words in that paragraph? Nope? Okay, next. Keep going.
Most things people use every day are or have been protected by patents. Examples include the first commercially viable electric light, which was patented by Thomas Edison in 1879. The drug aspirin, which was patented by Felix Hoffmann in 1899. And the rubber bands patented by Stephen Perry in 1845.
Good.
Less obvious inventions have also been patented, such as special motors, gears, and machinery used in manufacturing settings. Strangely enough, living things can also be patented, as illustrated in 1988 when two Harvard University doctors were issued the first ever patent for the new animal life form, a genetically altered mouse.
Okay. All right, so most things people use every day have or are or have been protected by patents. Examples include the commercially viable electric light. Okay, what's commercially? What does the word commercially mean?
Business.
Yeah, business, usually in business, yes. But in this situation, commercially means everybody had one. Okay, it was everybody. The whole world, everybody had a light. Once light was invented, electric light was invented, everybody had it. Does anybody know what we used before light? Right, but what were candles? What were candles made out of?
Wood.
No, they were not made out of wax.
Wood.
Not out of wood. The electric light put a business out of business. So much so that no one ever used it again. People used whale blubber. Whale fat? Whale oil to use for candles, for lighting.
So kill the whale?
Whale oil. When the invention of the electricity came, the use of whale oil was no more. Okay? Are you Googling it right now? Are you looking it up? Yeah. What year? Does it say? It's whale oil or whale blubber? I can't remember. Whale fat or whale oil?
Whale fat.
Okay. Because whales are big and fat, a lot of fat. Okay. Okay? So, presented by Thomas Edison in 1879. Here's another one. The drug aspirin. Everybody knows aspirin was invented and patented by Felix Hoffmann in 1899. And the rubber band. How about that? The rubber band. So the rubber band was in 1845. So we had the rubber band before we had electricity. Would you have thought that? That we had the rubber band? The rubber band was invented what? 35 years before electricity. Yeah. Electricity was in 1879. The rubber band was in 1845. So 34 years we had the rubber band before we even had electricity. Okay? Now, strangely enough, living things can also be patented and illustrated in 1988 when two Harvard University doctors were issued the first ever patent on a new animal life form, a genetically altered mouse. Did we have this class? Does anybody remember what the genetically altered mouse was? It had an ear, right? On his back or on his neck or somewhere on his hip. Where was it at? On his back. They genetically created a mouse that had a human ear on the back of it. So was this class? Okay, so I thought. Okay. Any words that I missed on that one? Good times. Okay, next.
But not everything can be patented.
Okay.
One must first have an original idea from an invention.
Okay.
The invention does not have to be something that has never been thought of before, as most patents are from new adaptations or improvements on existing technology, and not wholly new items. For example, the camcorder is a combination of the video camera and the tape recorder. But it was a new idea to combine them into one machine.
Okay.
Theorems regarding natural laws cannot be patented. Even though the principle of relativity was developed by Albert Einstein, he could not patent it because he did not invent it. It was already part of the natural world.
Okay. All right. So, but not everything can be patented. One must first have an original idea for an invention. Okay? The invention does not have to be something that has never been thought of before. Do you think just now I'm the first person to ever think about making a pill to make all your fat go away? Probably millions of people have thought that, right? Okay. So my guess is, right now, as we speak, we do not have a pill to do that. But I guarantee you, someone has a patent on it. Okay? Of how they think it's going to work. See, sometimes they put patents out on how they think it's going to work, and then when someone actually does do it, then they can go, oh, no, that's my idea. Thank you. Okay? Okay? So, the invention has to be something that's never been thought of before, but most patents are for new adaptations or improvements on existing technology. This example is a good one. For example, the camcorder. Does anybody know what a camcorder is? Golly, you guys are old. Okay. So a camcorder, for my generation, for your parents' generation, we didn't have cell phones then. We had camcorders. Camcorders were these machines that people would buy. They were personal video recorders and audio recorders. So it recorded not only audio, but video at the same time. We all have camcorders now. They're called camera app on your phone, right? Okay. So we all have camcorders now, but then camcorder was a combination of video camera and tape recorder. But it was a new idea because no one had ever thought of putting them both together. I remember the day I bought my first camcorder. It was like a week after my oldest daughter was born, and all I wanted to do was take pictures. But I wasn't a big camera person. We take camera pictures. So I bought a video camera. So we would videotape her doing all kinds of things. You know, it was so cute and so nice. And you could make a copy of it and you could send it to people. Okay? Your parents would know what a camcorder is. So tonight, your homework is to go ask your parents what a camcorder is. And they will go, oh yeah. Okay? And it was big and huge and bulky. It was like this. It was like, I mean, it was like putting, you know, 2 TVs on top of your phone like this, you know, on top of your shoulder, and you had to carry it like this. Is kind of how you carried it because you couldn't, it was too heavy to carry like this and watch like this. So you had to kind of like this, and there was like a little screen that would come out so you could see what you're looking at. You know, in today's look, it would look like a weapon on one of your games that you play, one of your video games where you, okay? Theorems regarding natural laws cannot be patented. Even though the principle of relativity was developed by Albert Einstein, he could not patent it because he did not invent it. It was already part of the natural world. It would be like me inventing gravity. Well, you know, can't put an invention on gravity. I invented sunlight. I invented the wind. You can't put a patent on the wind. Okay. So there are certain things that you're not able to do. Okay. Any other words in that funky paragraph? Okay. Then next, Leon, keep going.
Patents are important because they protect a person's idea from others who might want to steal it.
If you work hard inventing a new machine or procedure, then you should be able to benefit from it financially, says Timothy Elkins, a patent attorney.
Yep.
You shouldn't do the work and then have someone make money off your idea. Where is it? No. Patents also help to share ideas and technological information with other inventors and researchers.
A description of all patent inventions is put into a database, which can be accessed by other people in the same field of interest. Patents also help to stimulate research by large companies. Finally, money by holding patents. Finally, companies, especially large ones like IBM, Samsung, and Sony, can make a lot of money by holding patents on certain inventions and charging other companies money, called royalties, to use their ideas.
Okay. So patents are important because they protect a person's idea from others who may want to steal it. People do that all the time. People always want to try to steal things that they want all the money, but they want to do none of the work. Okay. So if you work hard inventing a new machine or procedure, then you should be able to benefit from it financially, says this patent attorney. I had a friend of mine in school that I went to school with, that his father worked for a chemical company, and he had patents on like 4 or 5 different ways to take some chemical out of another chemical thing. I don't know the whole procedure, the whole thing, but he had 4 or 5 patents. And he worked for Dow, and he sold them to Dow to use. He gave them the rights to use it. In exchange, he got royalties. We talked a while ago about the guy who invented the aluminum can. Okay? So he invented the process of taking one chemical out from another chemical, and then he sold that patent as a royalty. Now, some of you may have heard this before, royalties. Has anybody ever heard the term royalties before? But where have you heard it from? Right, okay. So royalties, what you may hear this from, is from musicians. Musicians own their music. And anybody that uses their music, they get a royalty. Okay? If, there was a big, huge thing about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift had all of her music, but when she was young, she signed a contract, and basically one guy owned all of her music. So what did she do? She went and re-recorded all of her music over again, but this time under her name and under her label. And she changed the music, either a word or two in the song or a note or two in the song, just enough to change the patent or change the way that he owned that music, so that now she owns all of her music. Okay? Big, huge fight over that. Okay? So, anyway, I had a friend of mine whose father had a bunch of these, had 4 or 5 of these royal things, and he was rich. And then, when my friend was like 22, 23, both his mom and dad died in a car accident. And he was the only child. So all those patents reverted to him. So now he was like super duper funky dumb rich for a guy who's like 23 years old. I mean, way too much money for a guy who was 23 years old. He went and did this, he went and bought this, he went and bought cars, he went and bought houses, he went and got married, got divorced, got married, got divorced, got married, got divorced. Eventually lost it all. Eventually got lost so much money. He was losing more money than he was getting in from his patents, from his royalties, from his father's royalties, that he actually sold the remaining rights all for a lump sum. He just went to Dow Chemical, bought the rest of it for like $5 million. And that way they didn't have to pay any more royalties from him from then on. And then he had that money and he lost it all and ended up killing himself, like 15 years ago. Because he lost it all. So Chris Templeton, one up. Okay. So a description of all patented inventions with other inventors and researchers is to put into a database which can be accessed by other people in the same field of interest. Patents also help to stimulate research by large companies. Finally, companies, especially large ones like IBM, Samsung, which I have a Samsung phone, okay, and Sony make a lot of money by holding patents on certain inventions and charging other companies money, like royalties, to use their ideas. Okay. Okay, was there any words in that paragraph? Okay, then let's keep on keeping on.
Patenting an idea can be quite time-consuming and expensive. After an inventor finishes creating a new invention, the next step is to fill out patent paperwork, which can be a long and complicated process. Usually, this type of research is done by a patent attorney, a lawyer whose specialty is patents.
Good.
Patent attorneys can be costly, but they are almost always necessary because they make sure the patents are filed correctly. After all the paperwork has been reviewed by the inventor and the inventor's attorney. It is submitted to the patent office along with a registration fee. The patent is sometimes rejected and must be resubmitted, and in this way, the process can be drawn out for many years.
In fact, it often takes up to 5 years to complete the patent process.
Okay? So patenting an idea can be quite time-consuming and expensive. After an inventor finishes creating a new invention, the next step is to fill out the patent paperwork, which can be a long and complicated process. What's complicated? Yeah, complex, difficult. Okay? Usually this type of research is done by a patent attorney, an attorney whose specialty is patents. I only know one patent attorney I played volleyball with a long time ago, and he was probably the smartest person I've ever known. That guy knew everything. I mean, everything. I mean, he was, every time, if I didn't know an answer to a question, I would go to him, and he would say, oh, he would say, oh, it's this. I love that guy. Okay? Patent attorneys can be costly, but they are almost always necessary because they make sure the patents are filed correctly. After all the paperwork has been reviewed by the inventor and the inventor's attorney, it is submitted to the patent office along with a registration fee. The patent is sometimes rejected. What is rejected? Yeah, basically rejected means they said no. And it must be resubmitted. Usually when they reject something, there's something wrong. Maybe something minor, it could be something major, don't know. But we usually rejected means something is wrong. And it must be resubmitted. And in this way, the process can be drawn out for many years. In fact, it often takes up to 5 years to complete the patent process. 5 years is a long time. Okay. All right. Any words in that paragraph? Jane, you okay? Cold? Are you cold?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's cold.
What?
I think it's cold.
Why?
But don't worry.
Jane, are you cold? I mean, Sheena, are you cold?
A bit.
Gigi, are you cold? You're not cold. You were smart enough to bring a hoodie, a jacket to keep you warm, not a blue jean jacket that doesn't keep you nothing. Very fashionable, though. Are you cold? Are you cold? Okay. Do you want to turn it down? What's it on? It's on 20. Okay, hold on. So does the remote say 25?
Yeah.
And does that say 24? So how does it get below that?
Didn't match.
Right, but isn't it usually the other way around though? Usually it's still working. I mean, isn't that supposed to, if that's set to 25, isn't that supposed to stop at 25?
No, 24.
Right, but that says 25, right? The remote says 25? So isn't the remote what it says? So it's 24 degrees in here right now, right? But the remote says to stop at 25, right? So how did it get below 25? Okay, what did you do just now? Did you put it on? What did you put it on? Okay, we'll put it on 26. Okay, now let it go. Okay, put it away. Because the fans are all off. Ugh, I can already feel it getting gross in here already. All right. 15 more minutes. I can handle it because I'm an adult. Okay. All right, last paragraph.
Once the patent process is completed, an inventor's idea still may not be completely protected. Patents only apply in the country in which they are issued.
So if a machine is patented in the US, the patent only applies to the US, unless patents are applied for in other countries as well. There's nothing to stop imitators around the world from copying that idea.
Okay, that's okay. Well, let me get into that here in a second. Once the patent process is complete, an inventor's idea still may not be completely protected. Patents only apply in the country in which they are issued. So, if a machine is patented in the US, the patent only applies to the US. Unless patents are applied for in other countries as well, there is nothing to stop imitators around the world from copying that idea. So that is a big thing in the United States. One of the main reasons the United States and China do not get along is because, according to the United States, okay, so let me walk you through this process. So, Leon's pill, Fataway. We now have it patented in Taiwan, which means it's only patented in Taiwan. It is the United States that says China has spies in all of these countries' patented offices. And what happens is Leon goes to the patent office and says, I would like to apply a patent for my pill, Fataway. It is the United States that thinks, I don't know this, it's not fact, I don't know. But they accuse China of seeing Leon's Fataway pill. They see his patent for it, and before it is patented, before it goes through the process, they see it, they pay someone in the patent office to give them a copy of his patent application, and then they turn around and they patent it in China before he gets a chance to. Because you can only, once you patent it first, you can't just blanket a patent for anything. So if Leon invents Fataway pills, he has to patent it somewhere first, Taiwan. Once he has a patent in Taiwan, then he can apply for this patent in every country in the world. 180 countries. I don't know how many countries there are. So 180 countries. But he has to do the first one first. And again, we saw it sometimes takes 5 years. So Leon, most likely, in order to do his patent, had to submit it maybe a couple of times between him and his lawyer. It is the United States that accuses China of paying someone to give those people, like Leon, his information, so that before his patent is in Taiwan, they patent it in China. So that way, he cannot come into China and sell his Fataway pills because they already have the patent for it. So same thing for the United States. Almost got it. Oh. Almost got it. No, one hand. No, not two hands. Not two hands. Two hands too easy. Two hands too easy. One hand. Eat it. Okay, any questions on that last paragraph? Okay, so let's go through the answers real fast because we got 10 minutes. Okay, reading comprehension, number 1. I will read. Who's got the microphone? Leon. Mark the statement as true or false. Number 1. Leon.
True.
Okay, patents can protect people's ideas from thieves. What'd you say?
True.
True. He says true. True is correct. Number 2, Jane. Thomas Edison patented his electric light bulb in 1879.
True.
True is correct. Sheena, number 3, patents can be for living things.
True.
True is correct. Number 4, so lazy. True, true, true. Whoever did this book, I hate. Number 4, most patents take more than 5 years to process. True again. Oh my gosh, 4 trues in a row. Surely the next one cannot be true. Number 5, getting help from a lawyer to file a patent is usually unnecessary. False. That is correct. Thank God all those weren't going to be true. That would be so lazy. All right, so now we're going to choose the best answer according to the reading. Jane, are you just going to keep that microphone all night long? Or Sheena, are you just going to keep that microphone? We're almost all the way back, so you might as well just keep it. Okay? I don't need it now. I got these two right next to me. Number 1, what was the reading mainly about? Okay, he says C, the reasons patents are necessary. Raise your hand if you think that's correct. Okay, I don't think that's correct. I think the answer is A, the definition and uses of patents. But, I mean, I don't have the answer book in front of me, so I don't know. This is Rebecca's book. So, I guess I could see, I would think A is the correct answer, but I can see how C could be as well. So if you have A or C, that's fine. Okay. Number 2, Leon, a patent is an agreement between an investor and C, the government. That is correct. Okay, Jane, number 3, the word composition in paragraph 2 means
What is B?
compromise. Is that what you said?
Yeah, what is
Okay, you're asking what compromise is? Compromise would be like Jane wants Burger King and I want McDonald's, and we compromise and we decide to go to McDonald's this time. And the next time, compromise is an agreement. I'll give you a hint. Compromise is wrong.
I know.
Okay. Jane is looking at Sheena's book to see if she has the answer. Sheena probably does not have the answer.
I think it's D.
Okay, what?
D.
D, procedure? Okay, she says the answer is D, procedure. Raise your hand if you think that's correct. Oh no. Raise your hand if you have a different answer. A, combination. Combination is correct. Combination. We talked a while ago when I said composition of matter. Composition of matter in this situation would have been mixed carrot and lemon and pineapple and grape and... yeah. Number 4, Sheena, why don't patents protect inventions completely?
B, because someone can intimidate the idea in another country.
Did you say intimidate? Can what?
Imitate.
Imitate the idea of another country, in another country. Okay. Okay. B is correct. All right, next word. Are you going to hold that microphone still, or are you going to? Okay. All right, Gigi, number 1, we're going to fill in the blanks with information. Gigi, grab the microphone. Okay. Fill in the blanks with information from the reading. Number 1, 2 doctors at Harvard patented a...
genetically altered mouse.
That is correct. Genetically altered mouse. I mean, who would not like to see this genetically altered mouse, right? I mean, I would love to see a mouse with a human ear on the back of it, right? Who wouldn't want to see that? Surely you'd want to see that, right? I mean, does it not pique your interest at all? Okay. Aisha, number 2. Inventors in the same field shared their patented ideas through the use of I'll give you a hint, not an, but check out line, what?
Royalties.
Okay. She says royalties. Raise your hand if you think royalties is correct. Royalties is incorrect. Check out line 38, 39, and 40. Patents also help to share ideas and technological information with other inventors and researchers. A description of all patented inventions is put into a database is correct. Number 3, the fees charged by patent holders for use of their ideas is called Did you have gas just now? Is it? Check out line 43 and 44. Finally, companies, especially large ones like IBM, Samsung, and Sony, can make a lot of money by holding patents on certain inventions and charging other companies money called royalties. Can I wanna be royal? Right? Yeah. You know that song? No. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so now we have the summary. We're out of time, so I'm going to do the rest of them, even though you've already done them, okay? All right, so patents are agreements between inventors and the government, giving inventors ownership of their creations for a certain amount of time. Patents are necessary to prevent the theft of people's inventions. Many things that we use every day are protected by patents. Almost any original idea can be patented, including processes, machines, and modified living things. Most patents are for improvements on existing technology, not wholly new items. Descriptions of patented ideas can be accessed in a database and often stimulate new research. Patent holders can make money by charging others to use their ideas. To apply for a patent, you must submit plenty of paperwork and a fee, and it can be a long process. A patent attorney can be very expensive, but is almost always necessary to avoid having your patent application rejected. The vocabulary practice. Number 1, after the first 2 courses, the waiter brought out a rack of lamb, the chef's specialty. Oh man, I love a good rack of lamb. I love me a rack of lamb. Number 2, it is not possible to legally obtain Cuban cigars in the U.S. Number 3, it takes money, a solid plan, and hard work in order to make a new business viable. In ancient Greece, Pythagoras came up with a famous theorem about triangles that have right angles. Ooh, that is correct. Number 5, the machinery in the old factory was outdated and in need of repair. And number 6, oh, something we talked about. Many Hollywood movies are adaptations of novels or non-fiction books. Okay. Oh, 8 o'clock. Goodbye. Zaijian. Please do not miss me while you are all gone for a week. I will see you next Tuesday. Except for Jane. I will see Jane on Monday. Everybody have a good weekend. Try to have some fun. Do something fun. Have you watched Madam Web yet?
No. Well, but I've heard it's not good.
It's not. It's not very good. But because you're a Spider person, Spider-Man fan, you will enjoy it because it has a lot of. Oh, can you turn the air conditioner off, please? You don't have to. You don't have to take it out. Just hit the button. It'll turn off by itself. If you hit the button there. Good night. Bye bye. Bing bong. Bing bong. that's the way it always does. Like last week it was here, and then Thursday, Friday it was here. So I'm doing a lot of coughing, and now I'm doing a lot of coughing. I can't get any better. Huh? Hopefully this all clears up the next couple of days. When I was old, when I was younger, it would be like one day, out. Now it's 2 days, 3 days, 3 days. And so it takes a while. Cool. Is that what you were teaching how to drive? Oh. Well, teaching the right way. Teaching the right way, not the silliness. Okay. Well, I mean, it should be.